Good morning, everybody. Good mornings. Good mornings. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um, Salute to Andrew College. Salute Ivory 10. Otherwise, peace, peace, peace. Andrew College says, I sit with angels since the cradle, switching angles, getting away. I'll obviously get ankles. Yeah, salute, man. Salute, y'all. Um, I didn't come in like I didn't schedule the joint to do a 2 hour joint or whatever it is. I just had something on my mind last night, and so I just wanna talk to y'all about that. I'm in a space, I'm in a place, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know how. So I'm just gonna share what's on my mind with you guys, and hopefully maybe y'all can help me through it, and maybe y'all can share something with me that can help others get through it. And this is not um a personal thing. Of course, y'all know it's all Knicks. This is about the Knicks. So I wrote down a couple thoughts and just want to get into it, and hopefully it won't be too sad. But as a program reminder, though, 718 boys coming. I mean, not 718 boys. I'm sorry, old school Knicks coming your way at 11 a.m. Anthony D and myself um, talking old school Knicks at 11. But I want to talk about lofty expectations. So setting high hopes fueled by promises. And hey, is that for me? Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, that's delicious. So setting high hopes, fueled by promises, aspirations, and such, often um, create an atmosphere of excitement and anticipation for things that'll be great. Believing in big goals and those moments of breakthrough that you feel like you get to when you make the right moves, or any moves for that matter. Right? Say you've been mediocre for a long time, regardless how you get to mediocrity, whether you're bad and you overachieve to mediocrity, or if you're plateaued at mediocrity and you spend a lot of resources in it and can't press the right button to get you to a place where the next level is attainable or achievable. Mediocrity is mediocrity. And every once in a while, when you're at that place of mediocrity, say, give an example, say you're an NBA team and you have not been to the NBA finals in 25 years. Say you're an NBA team, an NBA franchise, and you not have been to the championship game in 25 years. And you've tried everything. You've hired coaches, fired coaches, brought in big names, former players, people outside of the organization. Say you bring in a savior, things of that sort. None of that stuff work. Right? Say none of that stuff work. And it's been years. And then there's a ray of hope. The random free agent signing you make, in our example, you sign a diminutive point guard. And it works for you. No big deal, right? At least on the surface, because the Knicks have signed diminutive point guards their entire existence. The Knicks sign point guards every 3 or 4 years. The Knicks sign a point guard, right? But what does that matter? Because the Knicks sign point guards every 3 or 4 years. But then you sign a point guard, everyone gets excited, and then a random occurrence happens. That random diminutive point guard that you signed every 3 or 4 years happens to be a good one. And then you think, wow, well, you know what? We have something to work with. And then you pull off a trade that works. As Knicks fans, we're kind of used to pulling off a trade that backfires. Generally, the Knicks pull off a trade like the Steph Marbury trade. Feels good in the moment, but then it doesn't work. The Jalen Rose trade. For some reason, it doesn't work. Right? But say you pull off a trade for an OG Anunoby who's injury prone and a Precious Achua that's a draft bust. And when you get them, you don't know how to feel, right? But you were excited about the act of trading. So you're excited about the act of trading itself. Because the act of trading means that you're actually trying. Cowboy Bob is in the building. Salute. Ismail Rivas is in the building. Salute, my brother. Andrew College is in the building. You actually pull off a trade. Building Block says Precious is not a bust. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. That was his reputation before he got here. His reputation before he got here is it was a draft bust. That was his reputation. That's the reason why he wound up on 3 teams in 4 years. You don't wind up on 3 teams in 4 years if You don't have a reputation like that. And so you pull off a trade. We're excited about the trade because the diminutive point guard has showed us promise. Then you pull off a trade for a guy that a lot of us liked for two very flawed players. One in OG Anunoby, who's a great person, a great athlete, a hard worker. But we knew what the narrative was about OG Anunoby before he got here. Everybody knew that. We knew what OG Anunoby's flaw was, right? OG Anunoby's flaw was not he's a bad person, a bad teammate, a bad player. All of that stuff was exceptional for OG Anunoby. He gets a check mark in the exceptional column for being a good person, a good teammate, a good player, all that stuff. He's exceptional. His flaw, the flaw in that diamond was injuries. Even in his breakout moment, even when in that moment where he looked like he was going to be as good or maybe better, or let me restate, even in that moment where he showed more promise than Pascal Siakam, all of a sudden he had to have an emergency appendectomy. So you never got to see OG Anunoby on the grand stage, and Pascal Siakam thrived in that vacancy left by the OG Anunoby injury. Now both of them were going to play. Both of them were going to play in that run, but you didn't get a chance to see him in that moment. You got to see Pascal Siakam and Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet. You got to see the other youngsters Toronto had. You didn't get a chance to see OG. Was that his fault or was it circumstance? Of course, we know it's circumstance. As sports fans and as Knicks fans, especially as Knicks fans, at times, at times we overreact with expectations. At times we overdo it. At times we go over the top with expectations. Is it our fault? No. Fans have had expectations for athletes as long as there were as far back as there were coliseums built to house athletes. Fans have had unreasonable expectations. Justo in the building. Salute. Justo, I'm here. I'm here with a thought, man. Good Sunday morning to everybody. I'm here with a thought that I can't shake, and I wanted to just go ISO for a few minutes in order to just get my thought out there. Just want to go ISO for a little bit. The 718 boys will be coming your way at 11. Do I keep saying 718 boys? I mean old school Knicks. Yeah, man. Thank you, Miss Mocha. I keep saying the wrong show, everybody. My bad. So as long as fans have been going to sporting events, there have been expectations. When you're a starved and passionate fan base, you're gonna get to these moments of peak emotion, peak emotional moments where the emotional highs and lows um of lofty expectations put you in a place of you're in that moment, and when you get down you're very down, and when you're up you are very up, high as the sky. Some of it is hype. And when I was writing this, I definitely wanted to um speak about a few things. I wanted to highlight and key point um I wanted to key point certain things, right? I certainly wanted to have a key point. One of the key points is hype, and why hype is a double-edged sword, right? Why hype is a great thing in the moment. Hype and hope are only one letter apart. Hype and hope are only one letter apart, and passionate fan bases have both. So why am I here on a Sunday morning talking about lofty expectations, hype, and hope, and things of that sort? The reason is easy. Or the explanation is easy. The reason for me being here is easy. Um, as a Knicks fan, I'm spent when it comes to the emotional roller coaster. I'm spent, right? I don't know when to get excited. I don't know when to just be level headed. I don't know when to be a homer. I don't know when to be critical. I don't know when to support and when not to. As a Knicks fan in this moment, I don't know what to do as a Knicks fan. Am I a Knicks fan for life? Yes. That's not even in the equation. That's not even up for thought. That's not even up for consideration, right? Of course, I'm a Knicks fan, right? Should we be even keel, level headed? Is that what sports is about? Being even keel, level headed. Is that what we came here for? No. If I wanted to be even keeled, level headed about something, I did focus on work. right? At least in work results, I'm getting paid regardless, right? So if things go well, I'm getting paid. If things don't go well, I'm getting paid. Sports doesn't work like that. Sports is one of those things where you decide to make the emotional investment for an entity that represents you, right? Like when you lose a Emirates Cup game on your own floor to a lower seed with some guys that you couldn't pick out of a bad crime drama lineup, of course it's disappointing. When your team, the New York Knicks, are favored to beat a team that has a guy named Zachary on it, and a few dudes with bad haircuts, when you lose to them and can't figure out the answers, of course it's disappointing. When some random guy chooses you to be their rival, we don't care. The Knicks don't. The Knicks traditionally, historically, the New York Knicks and Atlanta Hawks are not historic rivals or geographic rivals. But Trae Young chose the Knicks to be that team. And our answer to Trae Young over the years is we'll lay down in a little while. You ain't got to do nothing special. We'll lay down. Yeah, Trae Young, you ain't got to do nothing special. You can shoot 8 for 22 from the floor, right? You can get roasted on defense. You don't have to do anything special. But what we'll do is if you hang around long enough, we'll just run out of gas and lay down for y'all to win. And we're so dysfunctional. We're so dysfunctional that we'll start pointing the fingers at ourselves instead of looking inward. Kerry Cox is in the building. Cowboy Bob. Sherwin, what's good? Sherwin says, as a Knicks fan, I just want to win a chip. Right? Yep. Me too. Me too. Me too. And that's why I'm here this morning by myself, just ISOing. Because I have, no lie to you, I have about 20 pages of notes. I was just going to read it verbatim. And then when I got here, I was like, nah. I legit had been working on this since the Atlanta Hawks lost. I mean, since the Atlanta Hawks lost. How do I describe my feelings? Why is describing my feelings why is that important to Knicks fans? Because the reason why is because I know that a lot of y'all are not just going to get in the chat and say, you know what? I feel a certain type way. I know y'all not gonna do that. I will. I am at the enough is enough stage. That's where I am. That's where I'm at. I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but there was a point in that loss to the Atlanta Hawks where Atlanta was just coming down and just dribbling out the clock, and then once it got late in the clock, they just threw up a lob to whoever was at the rim, and the Knicks didn't even contest it. And when I saw that the first time, it broke my heart. When I saw it the second time, I was like, this is just too much. I can't take no more. I can't take no more. Kerry Cox, that's where I'm at. Right now, I'm at that point where the only reason why I even turn the microphone on now is because of y'all. It's not because I enjoy it. I'm at a point right now where I can legit pack up all of my Knicks gear, just put it in the closet, and just think about the Mets. That's where I am. And it sounds like an overreaction from a content creator. And maybe it's an overreaction from a content creator, but not in that sense that y'all are thinking. Like I'm not overreacting for clicks or views or none of that stuff, man. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday morning where I am. I can legit be sitting out on the porch eating breakfast with my wife right now. I care about certain things. Like I care about y'all and y'all well-being. Like I care about how y'all feel as Knicks fans. I care about how I feel as a Knicks fan. So when I bear this thing out, it's not one of those things where I want to start the hype train and put out a weird narrative or anything like that. That's definitely not it. I am at a state where if the Knicks cancel their next 3 games, I'd be like, good. Great. If the Knicks cancel their next 3 games, I'd be like, fantastic. And so, why am I at this place? Right? Why am I at this place as a fan and with my favorite team, or my favorite NBA team? Why am I at this place? This is the I'll let you know why I'm how I got here and why I'm here. Drip Moore's in the building. East Blue Drew was good. Amani the Great was good. Good to see you. How I got here. Every year for the past 5 years, the Knicks do some type of addition or move, and the hype train starts, right? Every year, it's like Groundhog Day. Every year, the Knicks do something that creates buzz. Every year, there's a Kemba Walker is coming to town. He's going to save us. Every year is we got the shooter that we needed. He was talking trash to Kevin Durant in the FIBA games. Every year, it's the have you seen young player X's workout videos this summer? Every year it's that. Hotline Bling says, y'all sad because we ain't win the NBA in-season tournament. No, you're not listening, bro. Not you turn your volume on. Turn your volume on. I just laid it out specifically. I just laid it out specifically what it is that I'm not mad about. Not mad about, but emotionally frustrated about. It's not about just that. It's about every year the Knicks do a thing. It's a pattern. Every year the Knicks get somebody and we're like, "Oh, this is the piece right here that puts us over the top. We can beat the Celtics." And then the Celtics come out and beat us early in the season to show who's dominant. Right? Every year. Every year it's the same thing. Oh man, you know the move will work. You just got to give Tibbs until February in order to get this thing the way he wanted. And then February comes. February 1st gets here, and you're like, oh my God, why did I wait till February 1st to realize this? And then February 2nd gets here, and then you realize it's Groundhog Day. The same thing every year. Right? Same thing every year. Same thing every year. Same thing every year. Man, you seen that Emmanuel Quickly workout video, man, where he was dribbling around the chair? He was sweaty, man. every year is the man. We got Derrick Rose Derrick Rose didn't do a training camp with us, but now Derrick Rose has a full training camp with us, man. You just wait and see, man. Man, the Knicks traded for Cam Reddish, man. That's the wing we've been waiting for, man. Man, the Knicks traded for OG, Mikal Bridges, and Karl Anthony Towns, man. You just wait and see. And then it starts, and we're mad because Cameron Payne can't get us over the top. The Knicks legit just traded for this generation's Eddie Jones. Anybody remember Eddie Jones? Remember the 3-and-D wing from the Lakers, the Heat from Charlotte? Y'all remember Eddie Jones? The cat went to Temple. So we traded for Eddie Jones, basically, and Mikal Bridges. That's who Mikal Bridges is gonna be for us. He's not gonna be Kobe, right? He's not gonna be Jordan. He is gonna be Eddie Jones. Right? He is Eddie Jones. A 6'6", slightly built, aggressive defender that can shoot, score a little bit, athletic. That's Mikal Bridges. That's going to be his role here. He is going to be Eddie Jones. He's not going to be Kobe. OG Anunoby OG Anunoby is a great defender, a great person. But the thing is, as a Knicks fan, somebody that does this, but also more so than being your number one chief rocker, I'm also a fan that likes to go see these players in person. And I'm at a place where the movie is getting old. It's like Halloween. Once you saw the first 4 Halloween movies, you don't need to see movie 5 through 14. They're all the same. Once you've seen the Fast and the Furious, the first 4 of them, you don't need to see movie 5 through 10. They're all the same. Right? I don't need to see Oceans 11, 12, 13, 10, 9, 8, 7. I don't need to see all of those. They're all the same. And so, do I need to see the Knicks this year? No. The end result is the same as last year. Veterans with something to prove, young players that show potential and promise that never get used. Tell me if that sounds familiar. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Veterans with something to prove, young players that show promise that never get used. The veteran with upside is out there by himself because his supporting cast gets injured. Tell me if you've seen this movie before. Tell me if you've seen this movie before. One Knicks star out there with a bunch of miscasts has to put that team on his back and winds up losing in a heartbreaking way. And the narrative outside of that is all we need is Michael Jordan and Olajuwon and Shaq and Reggie Miller and Larry Bird, and we might make the conference finals. That's where we headed this year. The writings on the wall is easy to see. All of the stuff that y'all been putting in the chat is absolutely true. The Knicks situational defense is lacking to be nice. Offensively, guys disappear in the wrong moments. They take the worst shots you've ever seen. The Knicks' lack of depth. Think about how does a team go from being super deep to have a lack of depth that fast without losing free agents? How do you go from a team that's deep, right? How do you go from a team that's deep to a team that has lack of depth, and you didn't lose any major free agents. How? How? Do I love the Knicks? Absolutely, I love the Knicks. I hope y'all love the Knicks too. That's why we together. That's why y'all here. But my emotional investment is spent, right? It's like when you at the casino, you know how you at the casino and you spent a little bit more than you anticipated, Peyton, and you know it's time to go. That's the mindset that I'm in right now. I appreciate that, AK. AK says Leon always makes a December trade. Something's coming. Right. Yeah, there's gonna be a move somewhere in December, early January, or something like that. AK, what I'm saying is I don't feel like waiting on it. Like I think the Knicks have a game today, I think. And I ain't even looking forward to it, bro. If they postpone the game till next week, I'd be like, okay. That's where I am with it. Because you can only do this so many times before you realize, hey, this is a pattern. Hey, Tibbs needs some time. Year one. Tibbs needs some time to figure. Think about this. Go back to November of 2020, and you're thinking, hey, man, Tibbs needs some time to figure this thing out, man. It's a new roster. He got to figure out. Tom Thibodeau needs Tibbs type players. Tom Thibodeau needs Tibbs type players, man. And I understand he had a complete offseason and a training camp. But you got to give Tom Thibodeau, man, the first 55 games in order to figure it out. Wait a minute. Did you not have an entire damn offseason and an entire training camp? And you telling me that you are coming into the season not prepared? Man, you got to give Tibbs, 47 games before he get right now. Once he get right, you know what I'm saying, he going to go on a run. Did that man not have an entire offseason? An entire training camp? What's an offseason in a training camp for? Vacation? Mr. Vince says, it's the coach refusal to play our young players who are 6'7" or taller, Dottie Top and Ariel at Chuma, or develop Tyler Kolik's defense by playing. Right. Right. Well, you know what, though? You know what? This is the same narrative from 4 or 5 years ago. Why were we not playing all the young players? This is a thing. It's Groundhog Day. Regardless who we draft, it's the same narrative. The same narrative all the time. Yo, my guy needs time, man. Tom Thibodeau needs 40 games before he figure it out. And once we figure it out, we're gonna go on that run. I was caught up in it. I mentioned it several years. I noticed the trend several years. Like the last 20 games of the in the last 20 games of the season, Tom Thibodeau is gonna go 14-6, 13-7 every year. I think his record is like with us is like 13-7 in the last 20 games. Is that good enough? Is that good enough? I don't know if that's good enough for me anymore. I don't know if that's something that I feel like I can sit through anymore. I'm at that place, y'all. I ain't gonna front. I'm at that place where, hey man, I'm not going through this every. I'm not going through this every 5 years. I mean, every year for 5 years. I'm not doing that. No, you get an off season every year. Old school Knicks coming your way in a few minutes, everybody. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, man, because the thing is, if that's the blueprint, losing in early throw away games early in the season to make up games late in the season. Li1, yep, I'm with you, man. Wait 52 games, man, because them last 30 games are gonna be a doozy, and then in them last few games, you realize that you need something. So that's the letdown part. The letdown part is every year we're sold a bill of goods. Hey man, give him some time. He'll get this thing right. Blase blah, man. You never know. You never know. And as Knicks fans, we wind up with Stockholm syndrome, right? Where we learn to love our abuser, right? Like you learn how to the thing that is punishing us, we learn to love it. We love mediocrity. We embrace it because we get mediocrity in different shapes and forms. We get mediocrity in different shapes and forms. And so, since it comes in different forms, since the form is nebulous, we embrace it. We embrace the lack of defense, right? Because they give us dynamic offense. So we get dynamic offense and get killed on in rebounding, get killed defensively because we can't stop certain stuff. And we embrace it because they're like, no, don't look at the defense. Don't look at the rebounding. Don't look at the rim protection. Don't look at the shot blocking. Look at this offense. Man, our center is shooting threes. Every year, it's like something different. Don't look at the defense. Don't look at the rebounding. Like, don't look at the point of attack defense now. Don't look at the rebounding. Don't look at the fact that teams have 2 or 3 guys getting 10 rebounds apiece and we only have 1. Don't look at that. Don't think about in clutch moments we don't show up. That's not a real thing. When we're down by when we're down by 10 in the fourth quarter, we don't have what it takes to come back from a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Don't look at that. Don't think about how on a lot of nights it appears as if our coach is being outcoached. Don't think about that. How there is an appearance that our coach is getting not out coach, maybe out adjusted. So as a fan, what do? You cope and you deal with it. So I'm gonna fast forward a few pages in this thing just so that I won't talk you to the man. This thing is eloquent, man. I put it in this thing called Grammarly and got the grammar right in it, and had this thing, man. And I kept adding it to it like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and man, this thing. I probably should have put it in a newsletter, but whatever. So we respond to letdowns by rationalizing the outcome, finding silver linings, and reassessing the expectations for the future. However, some may feel jaded or reluctant to invest in this product emotionally. That's where I am. That's where I am. Do I have anything left to put into this team? Yes. Do I want to? No. Right now, I feel like one of those. I feel like those people that are so tired with politics that they don't vote. That's where apathetic. Apathetic. That's the word that I'm looking for. Right now, I feel apathetic. If the Knicks stopped playing basketball today, I'd be like, hey, I'm cool. I needed a break too. Does that mean I love them less? Nope. But all it means is that I'm worn down emotionally. I don't want to invest anything else in this team, man. I'm tired. Like those songs from them R&B chicks about being in relationships for so long and you never get any result that you want. Sherwin says, we got lucky with Pacom. He has NBA potential. Bro, I'm telling you. Jerry Fitz is in the building. What's up, brother? Fitz, what's good, man? It's good to see you, boss. So we got Old School Knicks coming your way in about 15 or so minutes. Your man Anthony D and I. So the tenor will be different on that show. I just wanted to ISO a little bit and just talk that talk for a little bit. Ivory 10 says, my only worry with is that he's a pretty big bone. Okay. Okay. I guess so. So to conclude this, is at some point as fans, we have to stop blaming external factors like poor officiating, injuries, bad luck, and start looking at the things that we do, right? At some point, we have to stop. At some point, we have to legit stop blaming everything else, like the schedule, the referees, the other team. At some point, we got to start looking in the mirror. Are we who we think we are? And for the past 5 years, the answer has been a resounding no. Are we who we think we are? No. Can we be who we think we want to be? Yes. But are we who we think we are? No. On that note, man, I'm a wrap right here. I didn't think this thing was going to be 58 minutes. I thought it was like 20 minutes. And then I saw all my people in the chat, and I was like, dang, man, look at my people. All my beautiful people in the chat, man, coming through to lend their support by commenting in the chat. All my people that's coming through to read the thoughts of others. I appreciate y'all. Old School Knicks coming your way in about 15 minutes, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace, everybody.